This is Billionaire Mondays. Every Monday we present you with another billionaire. Today we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Larry Page. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers and welcome back to our channel. We're glad to have you here with us today for another video featuring billionaires and their extra lifestyle. We've been talking a lot about rich and influential people, but this one really touched a lot of lives and improved the internet. You guessed it, we're talking about the co-founder of Google, Larry Page. Lawrence Edward Page, which is his full name, was born March 26, 1973 in East Lansing, Michigan. He's best known for starting the web browser Google with his PhD colleague Sergey Brin in 1998. He's only 45 years old and stands as a true inspiration for young entrepreneurs, students, and billionaires. He keeps his private life for himself and probably deletes whatever he doesn't want found on Google, but that's just a hunch. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. If you want to know some more about the mastermind behind Google, then take a seat and enjoy our 15 things you didn't know about Larry Page. Number 1. He graduated from Stanford, a place where all great minds go. After attending the University of Michigan, Larry Page went for a PhD in computer science at Stanford University. Looking back, that might have been the best decision he's ever made, since Stanford marked the place where Larry met Sergey Brin, his future colleague. As the story goes, they didn't get along at first, but their love for computer science brought them together to build one of the biggest companies in the world. If you didn't know, Stanford is one of the best universities in the US, and the second in the world, as it's a place where famous people, entrepreneurs, and billionaires, such as Tiger Woods, Steve Jobs, or John F. Kennedy, started their journey. Number 2. Some people say that he created Google alone. Everywhere you look, in every book or Google-related article, you'll see that two names come up when you search for the company's founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Google was a project started by both of them, but some say that Larry is the one that did all the work and Sergey only helped along. At first, Page appointed himself as CEO, while Brin, named Google's co-founder, served as Google's president for a time. Writer Nicholas Carlson wrote in 2014 that while Google is often thought of as the invention of two young computer whizzes, Sergey and Larry and Sergey, the truth is that Google is the creation of Larry Page, helped along by Sergey Brin. They've always done the things as a team and never changed, but we always know how teams work, and one might often end up working more than the other. Number 3. He got Jeff Bezos to be one of the first investors in Google. After starting Google, Larry and Sergey began thinking about making it more than just a project, but they needed money to get it started up properly. They raised most of it from family and friends, but among them were also other investors like Jeff Bezos. Yes, the world's richest man at this point. Unfortunately for Bezos, at the time he wanted to invest in the newly found company, the funding round had closed. But since he already had $4.1 billion fortune, it wasn't too hard to convince people to let him in. His investment was very helpful, but it's unclear if he still owns any shares in Google now. Number 4. He's the CEO of Alphabet. Along the years, Larry Page has been CEO of Google twice. He was the CEO of Google from 1998 until 2001, when he stepped down to let Eric Schmidt take lead, but took the position back in 2015. Later that year, Alphabet was born, and Larry moved there as CEO, Sergey being president. Alphabet was created through a corporate restructuring of Google in October 2015, after which it became a parent company of Google. They made this new company so that all smaller projects like Google Fiber, Waymo, or Calico could be independent of Google and can develop without affecting each other. We'd actually better call the two billionaires CEO and president of Alphabet Inc. and founders of Google to be politically correct. Number 5. His net worth is $48.6 billion. Google is giant. It has always been a great product and a money machine. The two founders made billions out of it, and they're only in their 40s. It's developed so much in the last 20 years that people and mankind rely on it. With such a great product, it's no wonder its owners are now some of the richest people in the world. Larry Page lives a modest life and has managed to make a staggering fortune of $51 billion by the age of 45. He's the 9th richest person in the world and the founder of Google, so that's not a bad legacy to leave behind. If business and investments go well, his money will double pretty soon. Number 6. He lost money on YouTube due to extremist content. YouTube was acquired by Google in 2006 for $1.6 billion. Since then, a lot of things happened and changed for the video streaming platform. The ads shown on YouTube come from Google and can be set from the Google Ads account. Some big companies are paying a lot of money to have their ads shown before or during a video. However, in 2017, a lot of ads had been featured in videos showing racist and extremist content. Of course, this is very bad for brands, but it was even worse for Google and YouTube. A lot of the brands that had ads featured on non-relevant videos have stopped their ads budgets, causing some serious loss and boycott in the media. Google stated they were working on fixing the problem and the algorithm. Ouch. Number 7. A former Google employee wrote a controversial memo criticizing gender and racial diversity. Larry and Sergey managed to make Google one of the most desired places to work from. They have a special and strict admission process where they can attract only the best people. This helped them to develop so many side projects and stay ahead of the technology and competitors. Recently, one of their employees wrote an e-memo addressing a serious issue he's been seeing and experiencing regarding racism and sexism, criticizing how the company chose to deal with the issues. He was fired after the memo, and when the story broke on the news, Google was faced with some serious allegations. Around 60 women came forward after this, saying they were also facing similar problems while working at Google. Looks like working at Google is not as cool as some may portray it to be. Number 8. He didn't talk to Sergey Brin after the mistress scandal in 2014. Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, was married with biotech analyst and entrepreneur Anne Wojcicki. They were happily married with 2 children when a cheating scandal broke in the news, showing proof of Sergey and the Google Glass marketing director having an affair. Sergey divorced his wife to be with Amanda Rosenberg, but his colleague Larry Page didn't like his behavior. Apparently, he stopped talking to Sergey for some time, since he thought that his behavior was inappropriate. Looks like Larry is pretty strict and has some strong principles he's not going to ignore for anyone. A little old-fashioned when you think about it for someone who invented Google. Number 9. He had a 600-guest wedding with Richard Branson as his best man. As we mentioned before, he kind of lives a normal life and doesn't really show off his money, but that changed at his wedding. You only live once, right? So make it worth it. He married Lucinda Southworth, a research scientist, and the sister of actress and model Carrie Southworth, in 2007. Their wedding was pretty big, with 600 guests attending the beach wedding on a Caribbean island where Richard Branson was the best man. Epic to say the least. They now have 2 beautiful children and are still together, a pretty normal family. Number 10. He bought a $45 million yacht with a helipad and jacuzzi on the deck. Larry Page is not like any other billionaire. Yes, he has a lot of money, but he also lives a pretty normal and comfortable life. He has an eco house in Palo Alto, drives an eco car, and has 2 children. Pretty normal so far, but in 2011, he bought a mega yacht worth $45 million, more expensive than his house and car, which comes with a helipad and jacuzzi on the deck. The 193-foot super yacht has a gym, 10 suites, a crew of 14 people, and interior French design. The mega yacht can easily sail the oceans all around the world. Too bad Larry Page works too much in making the internet a better place to fully enjoy it. Want to see some more amazing yachts? Make sure to check out our video of 15 luxury yachts that only billionaires can afford by clicking in the top right corner. Number 11. He runs one of the most important companies in the UK and US. Google is a product made in the USA. Nowadays, they offer their services and products almost all over the world, even though it's not that popular in all countries. In the UK, Google is so big it's actually their 2nd biggest market after the US. The UK actually generated $7.8 billion mainly from advertising in 2016, which is nearly 9% of the US giant's global revenue. Even though it's doing so well, they also had some rough time there with ads from scandal, terrorism, and other problems. But in the end, you can't replace Google, YouTube, or Gmail that easily, especially after you've used them for so many years. Until something better comes along, Google just wins. Number 12. He suffered from vocal cord paralysis. How bad can a cold mess you up? Pretty bad, it seems. Back in 2013, Larry Page revealed that he suffered from vocal cord paralysis due to an ugly cold he had when he was 14. His vocal cords didn't get to recover properly, and it left them becoming weaker and didn't move as expected. Fast forward 25 years and it seems another bad cold affected his cords again. What this means is that his voice could be forever affected, and he could even lose it with time. Since the condition is extremely rare and there's no cure for it, Larry Page decided to fund a research program by teaming up with Dr. Steven Zeitels from Harvard Medical School in the hopes of finding treatments for those who suffer with the issue. Number 13. He's an investor in Tesla, Twigtail, and Kitty Hawk. Larry Page has a small fortune of $48.6 billion. He's a good entrepreneur and a smart businessman, but there's no way he made that money from just Google. He's not buying houses and cars, so where's his money being invested? In other smart and eco-friendly technologies like Tesla, Twigtail, and Kitty Hawk. Yes, they're all related to his lifestyle and all things he strongly believes in, like education and flying cars. These companies are just starting out, and just like others supported by Google, he's doing the same, investing in breakthrough technologies. Shares bring in money, so it's a well-thought-out strategy in the end. Number 14. He makes only $1 salary per year. The $1 salary started as long ago as the 1900s, when a lot of government and business workers were only paid $1 per year, mostly during wartime. During World War I, about 1,000 people were employed by the United States, with only $1 salary per year. While only receiving that tiny salary from the government, most of them had their salaries paid by the main companies they worked for. This movement was adopted by Larry Page and Sergey Brin, too. They only got paid $1 per year, but make money out of assets and shares from other subsidiaries. Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Bloomberg are among the newest examples of this movement in the US. Looks a little more like a good PR move rather than a noble cause, since they're all billionaires. Number 15. He named Google Backrub at first. In 1996, when Google was just a baby, the search engine used to go by another name. They called it Backrub because the program analyzed the web's backlinks to understand how important a website was and what other sites it's related to. Backrub was operating on Stanford servers for a time. In the end, Larry and Sergey decided that Backrub is a bad name and started looking for another one. They wanted Google or Googleplex, the first one being the digit 1 followed by 100 zeros, while Googleplex is 1 followed by a Google zeros. In the end, they accidentally typed google.com to see if the domain was taken and decided to go with that instead. That's all for today, my dear Aluxers. Our 15 things you didn't know about Larry Page, the guy who brought us Google and the internet as we know it today. He's made some serious cash out of it, and we're curious to see what other cool things he has in store for us. And before you go, we're curious. Could you go for 1 month without using Google? I don't know if I could. And since you've stayed with us all the way to the end, of course we're rewarding you with another cool bonus fact. Number 16. Google doesn't allow advertisements for guns. If you want to be on Google and use their platform for your business, you have to obey the rules. Nothing to comment here. They care about copyright and have a strong, accurate algorithm that offers users the best and relevant research with only a few keywords. Of course, all these were improved in time, with more rules being added constantly. If you didn't know by now, Larry and Sergey have some strong beliefs about gun policy. This goes as far as to not let companies advertise about these products on Google. You can find all sorts of websites, articles, images with guns, but not advertisements. This means they don't make money from gun companies, and that's pretty noble. We admire them for putting principles on top of money. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.